Catch! Boozer, you there? Booze man, come back.
Deke, hey, I'm here.
Woman rode on a farewell. The Nero guy, the soldier, whatever the hell he was, who took Sarah. He had an ID badge. What was the name?
O'Brien. He wouldn't shut up about it. All the way out to Three-Fingered Jack.
Okay, he's alive, Boozer. He's alive.
What are you talking about? We were there. The whole camp was wiped out.
No, I know that, but I heard... Okay, look. I went into their LZ, and they...
Wait, you went into their LZ? What the...
Just listen to me. I heard them over the radio. They were talking about a man named O'Brien.
Deke, don't.
I'm not, Boozer. I'm not. I'm just... Hey, get some sleep. Deacon out. Yeah, worth some credits. Boozer, you there?
Yeah, Deke.
I took care of it. Alvarez, I mean.
Thanks, brother. She'd do the same for us.
Yeah, she would have. Deacon out.
Hey, Deke, you there? I was thinking about heading down to that logging camp. Clear out those nests. I've been seeing more freaks up here.
Boozer, no, you're gonna get yourself killed. You gotta wait till you're whole, brother. I'm over here anyways. I'll take care of the nests, okay?
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Deke.
Deke, wait till tonight. Fewer freaks inside those nests. Or take them out while it's still light out. There'll be more of them, but they won't be as strong.
Deke, you there? I got bored. Figured I'd see if I remembered how to make anything. Stop by when you can. I think you'll like it.
Boozer, thank you. Yeah, I'll stop by later.
This is Radio Free Oregon. The truth shall set you free. Who remembers the skid rows of this great country? People living on the streets in boxes and tents because they couldn't afford the American dream. Some of those good people fought for this very country, only to have the feds forget about them as soon as they were done with them. Yet PTSD doesn't stand for post-traumatic stress disorder. It stands for put them soldiers down. Well, we're all homeless now, living in the wilderness in the way of our forebears. The feds used to think we needed their welfare and handouts to survive. We showed them how wrong they were. What we need now is a strong will, determination, and trust in each other. The feds are never gonna give us that. And you want our trust? You gotta earn it. This is Mark Copeland for Radio Free Oregon. Don't believe the lies.
That's great. That's great. Radio Free Oregon's on the air once again. Oh, Jesus, what have I done?
Camping at a friend's family property with a group of friends. They had a huge dingy shop full of old tools and old furniture that was super creepy. Dirt floor, clown paintings in the loft, not even kidding. We stayed up late drinking by the fire and I was the last one awake. Went to go pee on the side of the shop and stood about 5 feet away looking inside through the window. There was a fluorescent light on and I noticed what looked like a piece of paper or dollar kind of floating around. I thought it was a moth at first, but it was moving in a very flowing figure 8 pattern that was very rhythmic. It reminded me of dangling a carrot. I watched it for maybe 20 seconds, which felt like forever. Then it quickly floated back to the corner of the shop where it was dark. There was also a wood chair near the corner that added to the creepiness. Could have been a moth though. I sat back down by the fire to finish my beer and have a smoke. No one else was awake, so I played Robot Unicorn Attack 2 on my phone for a while. I noticed my friend Mark pop out of his tent to pee, then go back in to go to sleep. I decided sleep sounded good, so I went to my tent and fell asleep. The next morning, we were having breakfast and Mark said, "I saw you guys sitting by the fire super late. How late did you stay up?" I told him I was probably 2 or 3 a.m. Then he said, "Who was up with you?" I told him I was the last man standing. He said, "I got up to pee and saw you on your phone and 2 people over your shoulder watching you play." He said one person looked bigger, so he thought it was one of our friends, who was a bigger dude. He said the other person was taller and skinny, but none of us are noticeably tall or skinny.
Nest.
Freaked me out.
Gotta be
We
right
still
around
camp
here.
at that property once a year, but I don't go in the shop, and I go to sleep whenever my wife decides she's tired.
That's the last of them. Build your damn nest somewhere else, you damn freaks. Okay, let's take a look around. All right, what have we got? Back on track. This is it. Shit, wrong way. Which way? There you are.
When I was a kid, my favorite uncle was the youngest in the family. He was my hero. He had just finished high school and I was like 10 or 11. We would go and visit on spring break and over the course of the summer, and I always looked forward to seeing the guy. We'd listen to records and tapes, and he introduced me to bands like The Cult, and In Excess, The Doors, Bowie, Stevie Ray Vaughan. As I entered my teenage years, my life started and my friends became the center of my universe, and those spring break and summer visits eventually stopped happening. Eventually I graduated high school, and around the same time my uncle started a family. A few years out of high school and my mom called me up and let me know my uncle had passed away. I hadn't seen him in a few years, and when I asked what happened, the only reply I could get was he was sick. It wasn't until years later I found out he had taken his own life. He didn't leave a note or anything, but the general consensus was he learned he didn't have long to live and took the easy way out. Here's where things get interesting for me. Shortly after the funeral I start having dreams. I'm a pretty lucid dreamer, not in the sense that I can decide what I want to happen in a dream, but I can recall my dreams in vivid detail. Maybe there's another word for that? I don't know. Anyways, I started having dreams about my uncle. Sometimes we were just sitting in his room from when I was a kid, listening to music and making jokes.
Squatters.
Over time they became very strange. One dream I had, we were in a movie theater sitting really close to the screen and we were eating popcorn. The screen was playing something, but I couldn't distinguish what it was.
This is Radio Free Oregon. The truth shall set you free. The start of this living hell that is now our life came as a surprise to no one who was listening to me when shit went down. I was one of the few. Most who spoke out against the feds, well, things didn't go for them. The cemeteries are filled with martyrs. Those who sought to call out the bullshit, the lies when they saw it. I know, because they came after me. I started Radio Free Oregon in the last weeks before the feds fell. Broadcast from an unmarked van, moving from town to town. In the days before the roads came choked with cars and the bridges destroyed, trying in vain to stop the freaks. This is Mark Copeland for Radio Free Oregon. Don't believe the lies.
No, Cope, the cemeteries are filled with freakers, not martyrs. And you had to keep moving because if anyone had found your unmarked van, they'd have blown it to hell. Just so we wouldn't have to listen to your bullshit Radio Free Oregon.
And my uncle was talking, but I could not figure out what he was trying to say. Another was the two of us in a hallway and all the doors were locked. The most troubling dream I had about the guy, which was also the most recurring, is when I would find him sitting at a rope bridge. He would stare at this bridge and get up and try to walk across it, but there's snakes that would strike at him when he tried to cross. A snake would snip at him and he'd go back to where he was sitting and just look at me, then look at the bridge. So I'd walk onto this bridge and look across, and every few feet is a very angry snake. All the way across. I grabbed my uncle's hand and took him out on the bridge. And he would be apprehensive because of the snakes. So I stood in front of him and kinda hopped up and down on the bridge. The momentum, or whatever you call it, from me bouncing on this rickety old bridge made the snakes angry, but if you bounced enough on it, the snakes would eventually teeter over the side. It was a very strange, eerie kind of dream. So my uncle would step out onto the bridge, walk a few feet, bounce the bridge so the snakes would fall off. The dream would always end with my uncle making it across the bridge and me getting this feeling of reluctance to follow him across. Then I would wake up with this overwhelming feeling of sadness. These dreams happened for almost 20 years. Always the same. Me and my uncle shooting the shit, or me helping him solve a puzzle of some sort. The snake and rope bridge was the most common.
Sniper ambush. Oh,
Never
God
told
damn
a
it.
soul in my family about what my uncle and I were up to. I always thought it would be upsetting. Like he wasn't at rest. Like he was in purgatory or something. Maybe he was? I eventually just came to accept that my uncle was haunting me. And for the most part I didn't mind.
Mass grave. Why'd they bury this shit out here again? Oh, yeah, because they're assholes. Yeah. There was a ghost in my house when I was little that my parents both saw. My parents were exhausted. They had 3 young children and both had full-time jobs. This meant that they put a lot of their strange experiences on stress and being tired. They said that they often would see a child running by them when my siblings and me were accounted for somewhere else. My mom also described a hand taping her shoulder and hearing a child saying "Mom," but when she would turn over there would be nothing there. This went on for months, and although my parents had both experienced this, they never mentioned it to each other. Then one night my dad asked if my brother had a new set of PJs. My mom said no, and this was when they realized they had both been seeing this extra child. They talked to our neighbors at the time about this, and they said that a young boy had died of scarlet fever in the house in the 1950s. This was also weird as my brother had scarlet fever, but luckily had been okay. The last time I heard about this ghost's appearance was when my brother had gone into his room and yelled at what he thought was me to get out his room. I was in the bath. He was seeing the ghost. I never usually believe in ghosts, but it was the fact that so many people had seen this ghost on different occasions. I was too young to remember any of this, and so I only know what has been told to me about this. I never realized until last year that that was one of the reasons we had moved house. In 2012, my grandmother suffered a major stroke resulting in hospice in her home with her children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren by her side. Friends and family were able to come by freely and spend time with her. I was very close to my grandma and was lucky to be able to share much of this time with her. For anyone that has ever been through hospice with a loved one, you will understand how hard this type of thing can be. One night I was sitting at home in my office catching up on some work, when all of a sudden the room filled with the scent of perfume. I'm not talking about a faint smell, I'm saying it was very distinctive and strong throughout the entire room. I stopped everything I was doing and said out loud, to myself, something is wrong, that is Graham. I had not spoken to my family that day, but felt an urgent need to send a text message to my uncle, whom was staying with her, to ask you guys okay? This was at 11:20 p.m. I got a response right away saying might want to come say goodbye. Not okay. I quickly rushed over.
This is Radio Free Oregon. The truth shall set you free. Black helicopters have been spotted in the skies. You might have seen them, heard them, thought you were losing your mind. But you're not. They're real. And they're proof that I was right. We thought Nero died out here like the rest of them, caving under their own stupidity. But no. Like I said, they've been lying in wait all this time, till they can crawl up out of their holes and reclaim this world.
Let's see what
But
we
it
got
ain't
here.
happening. Not on my watch. Don't go running towards them, thinking they're gonna save your ass. Any man wearing a uniform worth a damn died more than 2 years ago. These men, they'll shoot you on sight. This is Mark Copeland for Radio Free Oregon. Don't believe the lies.
Jesus. Cope, they're not trying to reclaim shit. You don't have a damn clue what you're talking about. Except, yeah, they will shoot you on sight. Lucky guy. Oh shit, what the hell happened here? That might be worth having a look around. Okay. Oh, here we go. Boozer, you there? I was just calling to check up on you.
Yeah, Deke, I'm here.
You hang in there, buddy. As soon as we get that arm patched up, we're riding north, just like you said.
I hope so. God, I miss you, Road.
You just work on getting better. I still got some work to do on the bike, and we gotta stock up on some gear, but once you're patched up, we're out of here. Deacon out. Okay, this is it. Yeah, oh, this camp is gonna be crawling. Yeah, nah, you gotta leave the bike out here, Deke, or it'll pull all of them down on you.